Hey, how's it going, guys? EVR94 back again here with another action figure review. Today we're going to look at the Marvel Mezco 112 Collective. This is the Spider-Man homemade suit, the Mezco exclusive from Spider-Man Homecoming. So as you see in the front of the box, we got the Spider-Man Homecoming logo. Got our normal traditional golden sticker there, signifying that it is a Mezco exclusive. On the side of the box, we get a look at a Spider-Man logo, and then on the back side we get a nice little graphic image of the homemade Spidey suit posed up right there. So let's crack it out of the box and check it out. Alright, and there we have him out the box, and check him out. Looking very good. Looks pretty cool, I must say. It's nicer than what I was anticipating. So you can see here he just comes in packed in as so. He's got the two fists and everything's fabric except for the fist, the head, and the feet. The rest of the figure is all cloth and fabric. So going straight into the accessories of the figure, he does come with several pieces. So let's check it out right now. So we do have several webbing here, and first and foremost we'll start with this long piece of web. It is very nice. It's actually metal bendy wire twisted up, and they painted it white. Now it looks like it was sitting in that package like this for a very long time, so when I took it out it was stuck to each other for a little bit, and then when I of course separated it, you can kind of see the plastic chip off. So that kind of sucks, but it's not too horrible. It's a very nice piece. It's probably one of the best webbing accessories or effects that I've seen in any figure line. So you can see that here. You can see how the it looks just like a metal twisty tie is twisted together. You know, probably all he did. So here you can kind of make out that paint that kind of chipped off. So that kind of sucks, but it's not too much. It's not too bad. I can live with it. Then these here are not metal bendy wires, so you can kind of see the difference here. This is just plastic. So it's just a normal web shooting out, and then here is one with the web extending out like this. So you get three pieces of web, and then we also do get an alternate head, a Tom Holland unmasked head, which is nice. I like that. And then lastly, our separate hands, our Spider-Man web slinging hands, traditional, normal stuff. I like the way they painted it though, looks good. And then we have open hands, so a pair of open hands, and I like how they painted the web shooter button on the palm there. And then lastly we get a swinging hand, so this is where you would grab the web and he would swing from it. So that's all the accessories, not including the base and the stand, which all Mezcos do come with. So he does come with one. And speaking of the base and the stand, I wanted to show that real quick because I almost thought when I opened this guy up that he was kind of defective, or actually let me zoom back in. I thought that mine came with a chip on the chest, and you'll see that right here. You can see the black spider, how there's like a paint missing in the middle, and I was like, what in the world, you know, only with my luck this would happen, because every other homecoming homemade suit figure I have is just all black. But apparently this is a thing because their base is the same way. So I was like, okay, maybe that's how it is in the movie. I never even realized that it's kind of faded. So then I was like, okay, now I feel a little better, because if they did it to the stand, and they intentionally did it to the figure, so it's not just that the sticker or whatever they used to apply that spider was, you know, an error of any kind. So checking him out, let's take a look at how he articulates here. So far, I mean, before we get into that real quick, I like how he looks. I mean, I don't know, I'm kind of mixed with this. I kind of like, is this attached? Oh wow, look at that. The blue piece is like a onesie, so you can't see. It's not like you can take his shirt off. So anyways, I'm kind of mixed on it because I like it a lot actually, and I don't know. I feel like maybe it's a little baggy when it gets down to the pants. You can see that in the back. His backside looks kind of weird, but I think they did that so you can articulate him a lot. So yeah, it is a little baggy there, but I think from the upper torso up, or from the waist up, sorry, it looks good, you know, not too bad. So anyways, let's get into it. We got the head that swivels left and right, and the neck is a separate piece here, so you can swivel it from the neck and from the bottom of the neck here. So good range overall. You can get him looking up. So if he's swinging, looking up any way, I don't know what I'm doing here, but yeah, looking up looks good, and he can look down a lot too. Looking to the side, 360 degrees, spin, whatever you want to do to the head, you can do it. Also, the hoodie does, come on. You see here it's draped on the back, and then you can just put it over his head, and he can wear the hoodie, and that looks good. So, pretty cool. Going down to the arms, we have a arm that goes forward and back. It goes in and out. I'm glad these aren't as stiff as some of the other Mezco arms that I always encounter. They're all mostly always stiff, but he seems to move fairly easy. So we do get a bicep swivel underneath that sleeve. Seems like we get double jointed elbows. You can see that bend, that looks good. So he can, he's very flexible from the upper torso so far that we've seen. So that's pretty cool right there. And then the wrist will swivel. It's going to go forward and back on a hinge. That's pretty normal. And then we do we get a torso? Doesn't seem like we have a diaphragm joint of any kind. Actually we do, sorry. Wow. I feel it now. It's like more to the midsection here. So it swivels at that diaphragm joint. It's too bad we can't see it, but it's there. And we also do get a waist swivel. So he does have a diaphragm joint, and he can crunch forward this far, and he can stretch to the back that far. So pretty decent. And then we get the big old crotch piece. Everybody was making fun of this crotch piece for this figure, but ignoring that, he can move the leg up like this. So goes forward and back with a kick, and then in and out. He can do a full split. So I think this goes back to the baggy pants. I think they did that so you can have room to articulate him, because if they would have made it too tight, you wouldn't be able to articulate the legs. So I think I'm okay with that. We get the thighs that swivel too here on the top, and then as I showed, we get double jointed knees that bend very nicely. I do like how that bends. So you can have him doing some sit-ups here if you want. Alright, so we do get the ankles going forward and back, and they pivot there, and then they do swivel. This one seems a little loose. I hope it doesn't break on people, but this one doesn't seem as fragile as, let's say, Catwoman. But there you go. That's your articulation for this Spider-Man, and I think not bad. I've never bought a Spider-Man figure from Mezco. This is actually my first one, so I don't know if this is the same body mold. Probably is. But you guys let me know if he's using a new body mold for this Spider-Man. But he's pretty flexible from what I can see. But I'm sure they could have done a little bit better. Maybe add some butterfly joints in here. I still don't even know if Mezco does that. But they could. You know, why can't they, right? But everything else seems to be articulating fairly well. Alright, so checking out his height next to some other figures. First and foremost, I do want to compare him next to the Marvel Legends version of the Homecoming suit, which I did like this figure a lot when it came out. But you can really see the difference in color. You know, of course, one's fabric, one's not. But you can see the difference in color. The height is actually very similar here, which is pretty shocking. But yeah, the height's pretty similar. The colors are drastically different here. I think I like the more vibrant colors on these on the Mezco one, but you know, it's a little dark for the Legends. Now coming in with the figure arts version here, let's throw him in. This one's back to the more vibrant colors. It's not as dark as the Legends version here. You can see him here. He's obviously posed, so let's get him straight up and check out how he stands up next to the Mezco version. This one's actually nice. I like this one more than the Legends version a lot more. This came with the 2-pack with the Iron Man Mark 40 something. I forgot the mark on that one. So many armor numbers that you kind of forget. But let's see. Very small. So yeah, it's SH figure, so it's to be expected. Let's see. It's to be expected, you know, to have a shorter figure, but overall, I think I am leaning towards the Mezco one here, honestly. I'm actually surprised right now. Come on, stand up. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards that. I don't know, something about it. I think the only thing that's really getting me, I don't know why, but it's the pants. Just seems a little baggy, but It makes sense, you know, instead of making them too tight. But you guys let me know which one do you guys actually like here. I think this is all of the 1/12 scale homecoming suits that we have out right now. And I think definitely the Mezco one takes it here. Actually, let me get the masked head on because I got the Tom Holland head. Maybe that's why I'm leaning towards that one right now. But speaking of the Tom Holland head, as you saw, it's actually a really nice head. We'll get into that in a second. I'll zoom in on that in a second. But here we have him with the mask on, and you can see how he looks here. See if I can get him to stand up. Alright, so that took longer than expected, but there it is. Now he's standing, and look at that. Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Mezco one. I like it a lot now, seeing him next to these two. I'll go with the Mezco, then second place to the Figure Arts version, and then third for the Marvel Legends. They're all nice, though, to be honest. Alright, so let's check them out next to some other figures. Here is a SH Figure Arts Vegeta. This is a Majin Vegeta without the Majin symbol on his forehead because I swapped the head. And then here's a Mezco 1/12 collective. Steve Rogers. This is the regular release of Steve Rogers. Here's saluting. His shield always disconnects. It's held by a magnet, and it's always hard to get it. There you go. So there he is next to the Steve Rogers. And then who else do I have next to me as Spider-Man falls? He seems to have a little bit of trouble standing, as you see. He fell a couple times off screen. Here is the Mezco as well. This is the X-Men version of Deadpool. It was also a exclusive. I believe this was a con exclusive. Can't remember if it was New York or San Diego. But yeah, he was the con exclusive. Next up, we have the Marvel Select. This is Beast. Also X-Men. Huge figure. Jesus, massive figure. Way out of frame here, but Marvel Selects always run around 7 to 8 inches tall, so they're not really 1/12 scale. But this is Beast, so he is a bigger guy anyways. So there is that. More comparisons here. I'll throw in the NECA 7-inch. This is Leonardo, the Ninja Turtles from the SDCC 4-pack. Here's the Mezco exclusive Iron Man. This is actually the other exclusive that came out in that same convention with this homemade suit, but they just, for the people that ordered it online, they released this guy way ahead, way before Spider-Man, and we're just now getting Spider-Man shipped to us. But there he is next to Tony Stark, his mentor. Next up, we have a little tiny SH Figure Arts Global B Toys version of Spiderman. I just reviewed these, so they're still here next to me, and I figured why not. And then lastly, in celebration of the amazing movie that was Into the Spider-Verse, here's the Miles Morales. Although this is not the one from the movie. This is the comic version of Miles Morales. I actually don't have the Mezco one. I was contemplating on getting him, but I heard bad things about it, so I don't know. Anyways, there is your size comparisons. That is pretty much it for this review. That covers everything overall. It's a great looking figure, to be honest here. Actually, I do want to show the Tom Holland head real quick. I didn't mention that. So let's check it out up close. Alright, so there's a closer shot at it, and I think the likeness is pretty good. It's not too bad. I see it. I see Tom Holland there. It definitely is better than the Legends version, which I don't have in hand right now. I know I have the figure, but I'm looking for it, and I can't find that Legends version. I know that one. That's the one that came in the 2-pack with Iron Man. So good job, Mezco, on this one. I like the hair too. The sculpt came out pretty good. Look at that. Nice paint too. Not bad. I think I'm pleasantly surprised because I was expecting this guy not to be so great. I was just like, you know, it's just going to be a normal release. It's not going to be anything fantastic. And I don't think it's anything fantastic, but it's definitely not a bad figure. You know, not as much as people were trashing it before it came out. So I definitely do recommend you guys actually give this one a shot or a try. If you guys had already pre-ordered it and were thinking about getting rid of it. Or, you know, you're thinking about grabbing him anyways right now. So obviously he's sold out on the site, but you can still pick him up. And you know where, eBay and Facebook and other sellers that have extras. So I do recommend you guys actually check this guy out, and you might actually like him more than you thought you were gonna like him. And there we go. So that's gonna do it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this review of the Mezco Toys 112 Collective Mezco exclusive homemade Spidey suit. Leave a like down below. Leave a comment. As always, subscribe if you have not done so already. And don't forget to have a great day. Bye.
That's crispy.